wasn't under the bed, it was inside it. For months I lived convinced I was in love with Mariana. My parents, my friends, everyone kept telling me the same thing. You're falling apart. You're not yourself anymore. Get away from her. I heard them, but their words just bounced off a wall inside me. I felt a constant pressure in my chest, a strange exhaustion, like something was draining a little more of my energy every single day. And still, I swore that what I felt for Mariana was love. Over time, I stopped eating well, stopped sleeping peacefully, stopped laughing the way I used to. Everything revolved around her. Whether she texted me, whether she didn't, whether she was in a good mood or distant. When Mariana was cold, I felt empty. When Mariana was warm, I felt like I could breathe again. I didn't see anything wrong with that. I thought that was what real love looked like. Until that night. That night, my body said enough. I couldn't sleep. I kept shifting in bed, feeling a strange discomfort, like something was wrong with the mattress, like there was a lump that hadn't been there before. My back ached. My skin itched. My head pounded. I looked at my phone. It was past 2 a.m. I got up and turned on my flashlight. I figured the mattress was just old. Maybe the base had sunk in somewhere. I decided to flip it, rearrange things, see if that helped me sleep. I pulled off the sheets, moved the bed a little, and crouched down to look underneath. That's when I saw something strange. The box spring, the base of the bed, was covered on the bottom with a black fabric. It had always been there. I'd never paid attention to it. But now, under the flashlight, I noticed that in one corner, the fabric was bulging, like something was pushing from inside. It wasn't a small fold. It was a clear lump, like it was hiding something heavy. A chill ran through me. There was no logic to it. Nobody reaches under a box spring to store things. I stayed on my knees on the floor, alone. The room completely silent. The flashlight trembled slightly. By then my hands were already sweating. I could have left it alone. I could have told myself, I'll check it tomorrow. But something inside me, a mix of curiosity and fear, pushed me forward. I went to the kitchen, grabbed a pair of scissors, and came back. I knelt in front of the bed again. Moving the flashlight closer, I could see how the black fabric lifted in that corner, pulled tight. I swallowed hard. With one hand I held the fabric. With the other, I brought the scissors in. The first cut rang out in the silent night. That small sound, the fabric tearing, made me feel like I was opening something I was never supposed to touch. I cut in the shape of a cross. The fabric opened, dust fell out. Old lint, and then something else. Something heavy slid out all at once toward me. I caught it by reflex without thinking, and when I had it in my hands, my entire body went cold. It was a doll, black, crude, badly made, like it had been forced together from rags and something hard on the inside. It wasn't a toy. It wasn't something you buy in a store. It was something else entirely. It had rusty needles driven into its face, especially into the eyes. 2 long needles pierced through where the doll's eyes should have been, pushed in with rage, pointing inward, and shorter needles were driven directly into where the heart would be. The doll had stains, like dried remnants of some old liquid. It smelled strange, not strong, but there was an odor of dampness, of something kept hidden for a very long time. I held it with just my fingertips, barely, as if it burned. And then I saw what was attached to its side. A photograph. A photo of Mariana. It was an old photo, the kind with worn edges. In the image, Mariana was younger, but her expression, it wasn't the face I knew. It wasn't the sweet girl, the calm voice, the shy smile. In that photo, there was something cold in her eyes, something I can't explain. But that made me pull my face back slightly, as if it could leap out of the image. The photo was fixed to the doll with a twisted cord, and wrapped around it, tied like a knot, was a lock of black hair. Real hair, black, long, straight, Mariana's hair. In that moment, I felt a wave of nausea, dizziness, like when you stand up too fast after lying down for too long. I had to sit on the floor, the doll in one hand, my phone in the other. And then something happened that I will never forget. It was like a light turned off, but not outside, inside. Everything I felt for Mariana, all that need, that obsession, that belief that I couldn't live without her, deflated all at once, like a balloon with a knot cut. In 1 second, I no longer felt love. I didn't feel affection. I didn't feel any of it. The only thing I felt was horror. Horror at realizing that something had been keeping me trapped for months. That it wasn't normal to miss someone so badly you stop eating. That it wasn't normal to justify everything, endure everything, forgive everything. That it wasn't normal to feel like I was drowning if she didn't pick up the phone. Sitting there on the floor with that doll in my hands, I understood that I had been sleeping, literally, on top of something made to control me. I can't explain it to you in technical terms, and I don't want to. All I know is what I felt. I felt like someone had lifted a soaking wet sack off my back, like someone had ripped a blindfold from my eyes. And with that came a new fear. How long had I been like this? How many nights had I slept on top of that doll, unknowingly, waking up each day a little weaker, a little more attached to Mariana? I didn't stop to think. I stood up. I grabbed the doll, the photo, the lock of hair, everything, and went downstairs to the patio. The house was silent. Everyone was asleep. I opened the door carefully, stepped out into the cold night air, and stood there for a moment staring at the doll in my hand. Moonlight fell across it. The rusty needles caught the light slightly. I found alcohol, paper, anything that would catch fast. I set everything on the ground in a corner of the patio, as if that spot could contain what I was about to do. I struck a match. My hand was shaking so badly it almost went out before it reached the paper. When the flame touched the doll, it took a few seconds to catch. But when it did, it was like something invisible writhed in the air. I don't know if it was my imagination, but I swear I heard a creak, a muffled groan, something that didn't come from any animal or from the house. The smell was awful. It wasn't just burning fabric, it was heavier, like burning hair, like something old that can't withstand fire. I stood there and watched. The needles twisted, bent. The photo of Mariana crinkled and turned black. The lock of hair lifted for just a second, as if it were floating, and then turned to ash. I didn't say anything. I didn't pray. I just watched until there was nothing left but a pile of gray ash. When the fire died out, I felt a different kind of silence, like the house was breathing easier, like the air was less heavy. I went back upstairs, looked again at the hole in the base of the bed, the torn black fabric, the empty space where that thing had been. That night, for the first time in a long time, I fell asleep without thinking about Mariana. I fell asleep with something else on my mind. The question: how many things like this are hidden in houses, under beds, inside furniture, feeding off people who sleep on top of them, completely unaware? The next day I cut off all contact with her, blocked her number, deleted her photos, removed everything of hers from my room. I didn't feel the desperation I thought I would, just a kind of quiet, sad relief. I never told her what I found, never let her know that I knew what had been living under my mattress all that time. But still, every so often, when I turn off the light in my room and lie down, I feel the urge to look under the bed, to make sure nothing is hiding in the dark, waiting for me to fall asleep so it can keep draining me. And when I think back on those months, on how I was blind, drowning in a love that was never love at all, I always come back to the same thing. It wasn't under the bed, it was hidden inside it. Can you imagine finding something like that right beneath where you sleep every single night?